How you guys doing? This is the Apocalyptic Optimath. You are listening to the Apocalyptic Optimath channel with your unhumble and unholy host, the Apocalyptic Optimath. So, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are doing great. I just made a video. It's a cool video. I like that video. I like the last video I just made. It's different energy than the shit hit the fan. Than the ish hit the fan video. Um, and I feel like maybe somebody needed to hear that. Like, I hear this a lot, this like thing where it's kind of like, people have like, they're not sure, they have like imposter syndrome and things like that. And it's actually, that's what it is. It's like imposter syndrome. It's like, cause nobody thinks that of you, you know nobody thinks that of you unless you prove them otherwise. Nobody's really thinking that. And some people might think that, but some people just like rumors. Some people are into rumors. Some people are into peer pressure and following others and things like that. So it's a choice, believing something about a person and you're not sure if it's true or not. That's your choice. That doesn't make it true. You just chose to believe that about a person, but you don't know that about the person. So this people are stupid. Like, people are stupid. um Not everybody, but you know, in those cases, yeah, you can say people are stupid, because they never got to really know you, before judging you. So, funny thing is, so like, this is another thing though. Like, this is a segue. I'm using this as a segue because, there's a thing about sexuality that people seem to I don't know what's going on with people, man. I don't know what's going on with women, to be quite fair, because some women like a man that can love them for a very long time. And when I mean love, I mean sex. Some women like men that can have sex for a very long time, and some women do not. That's the thing. Some women like men with a fair enough endowment, and some women would prefer a more out of the ordinary endowment, right? Like, some women are perfectly fine with 7 inches. Some women are not. Some women need 10. And some women, there's even some women that even 7 is too much. 5 or 7 is too much. They would rather 3 or 4. It depends. Everybody has their preferences, man. Everybody has their preferences. Like, I um I last long. I'm not. If I don't know. It depends on the situation. I'm a sex chameleon. you know, I'm a sex chameleon. It depends on the situation. If you want some more, I'll give you some more. If you don't want to, well, okay, fine. Let's do something else. Let's watch a movie, let's go make ourselves a snack or something. I don't care. Let's go outside and take a walk. You know. And then if you're really sexual, if I'm lucky enough to end up with a woman that's as sexual as I am, that's fun because we can keep going for as long as you want. I don't mind. I don't. It's not an issue to me. But if like, I don't know. Well, I have prerequisites. I have prerequisites for lasting long. Like I'm not gonna do missionary for 4 hours straight. Like I'm gonna flip you around and shit. Like so I'm gonna be flipping you around and shit. And if I'm with that kind of woman, and because if we're just doing missionary for like you know 40 hours straight, that's like I can't. Nah. That's just I'm gonna stop. Like if that's the only position, because that's the thing. Some women have different preferences in bed. Like some women like missionary specifically, and they don't want to do other positions. They don't know about that life. They're not about that life. They're not about that life. Yeah, I just got a haircut. Feels good. It's about time. Um, so there's some women that are not about that life. There's some women that just like missionary. And they demand missionary, and they don't want you to start it. It's gonna make them feel uncomfortable if you start, flipping them around and shit. And then there's some women that expect you to flip them around and stuff. So it's really up to the females to tell us what they want. When it's time. You gotta say these things before you get in bed. You don't just get in bed with a guy and then you have sex. He's used to having sex a certain way, and you're used to having sex a certain way, but none of you actually communicated on how you like to have sex, and then you get in the bed and one of you are disappointed because it's not like you used to have it. Like, so before you get in bed with somebody, you need to talk about it. You need to talk about it so that you end up in the comfortable position, because then the guy might be cool and stuff, and you're like, okay, well, he's cool, but I like getting rammed, you know. He's cool, but he's not ramming me, like, you know what I mean, like, so, but then you're kind of like, well, he's not the ramming type, so now you can judge in, okay, do I sacrifice this kind of sex for a good relationship, or do I keep looking, like, or do I keep looking. So it all depends. It depends on the person. I got like, damn it, I have like I have cream shaving cream in my ear. So you know uh it's really about um yeah, my phone rang, that's why I was like, I got distracted. It's really about how you perceive it. It's really about, like, communication, because then you kind of like I said, it's kind of like, ugh, give me a second. It's really about um communicating what your needs are in a relationship, and then you sacrifice, either do I sacrifice this kind of sex for a good relationship, or do I keep looking and find the perfect blend of both. Like, I'm the perfect blend of both. I'm both. I'm very sexual, but I'm also very, affectionate. I'm not just a guy that, I'm not just gonna ram you and that's it. Like, I'm gonna give you some love too. I'm gonna give you some normal love too. Let's go date. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go on a date. Let's go outside. Let's go do things. And then we can have wild, crazy sex for like fucking 2 days or the whole week. Like, fuck, a couple hours. We can just have sex for weeks on end. Like, never stopping. So, but me personally, I do have prerequisites to long sex. Like, I'm not gonna have marathons with somebody that's not equipped for a marathon. Like because I have specifications. You know, I have specifications. There's certain things that you're gonna have to do if you want me to last as long as, because I'm not gonna do vaginal either for like ever, like, you know. So you we're gonna have to switch things. You know, we're gonna have to flip things around. And I don't want to sound gross, and I don't want to sound too rude either, you know, but I'll just say I'm not into anal though, you know. And that's one thing, you know. Well, I don't know, you know, I never really tried it. You know, it's not, you know, and I would, because there's some girls that have some sweet looking asses. So anyway, but you know, like, I understand that that takes a little bit of preparation. So anal is a little bit, you know, different. You know, that takes a little bit of preparation, and you know, unless you want to, that's your business. You know, but you know, you know, I will eat ass though. I will eat your ass if you want to, but you know, I'm not. I'm, you know, I've never, you know, done that before. You know, I love a woman's body as a whole, no pun intended. Uh, but you know, and I hope I don't sound too rude when I say this. You know, I really hope I didn't sound rude saying that. But yeah, and I think I'm repeating this because I'm pretty sure that's the same thing for most men. Like, just like there's women have like specifications on what they like in bed, it's the same thing for a dude too. So if you want a dude to last longer, or you want to have sex multiple times with him, well, maybe that guy can't do it, but another guy could, you know, like, so, and that guy could, but in a specific way, you know, like, you know, so like there's some women you get, like, you can barely touch them, and they're already like, you know. So it really depends. It's a communication thing. You got to communicate these things, man. Like, if you don't say what you want, then how are you gonna find what you want? Ask and you shall receive. That works with everything, you know. Ask and you shall receive, you know. The reason why I'm talking about this, because I just saw a video, and the lady was kind of like, well, I just had sex, I had this ex, he was like a sex demon, and he could like drill me for like 7 hours straight, you know. But now I'm not with him anymore, and now I can't find. I'm trying to, like, she said that she was trying to find a relationship with a good relationship, not just drilling, but a good relationship with a man. But she can't find. Apparently, she can't find a good mix of both. And this is, I think that's what she said. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what she was saying. Like, she would like a mix of both, you know, like a good man that can also satisfy her sexually. And it exists, you know, it exists, but you must ask for you, in order for you to receive. If you don't ask, you will not receive. You know, you gotta ask. You know, you gotta ask. You know, it is what it is. You gotta ask. Me personally, you know, I don't know this lady, but and I don't intend on messaging her, but you know, for everybody else out there that's listening to my channel, by the way, if you like my channel, if you like what you hear, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, leave a comment. It helps me get into the algorithm, and other people can see my videos and see the good videos that I put out, not the ones where I'm losing my entire mind because I'm too stressed out. But you know, like, yeah, it helps me get into the algorithm, and other people can listen to these nuggets of wisdom and truth and secrets and knowledge and all that good stuff, you know, because all that stuff protects you. It builds a wall of protection around you against the lies of the matrix, the lies of the system, the corrupted system that's placed on top of the system, you know, because that's what it is, man. This illusion, these lies that we're living, it's on top of a system that is supposed to be accurate, that's supposed to be working anyway, regardless of um, corruption or not. Okay, so back to what we were saying. I mean, ask and you shall receive. I personally believe that I'm a good mix of both. I'm affectionate, and I will be a good boyfriend, but I'm also highly sexual. I'm very sexual. I'm a little bit of a horn dog, you know. But I'm still a good boyfriend. Well, I try to be a good boyfriend. I try to be, and I am, regardless of how much I like sex, I'm still a responsible person. So I will work. I will work long hours. But that's not a problem. Like, if you see me working too much, this is for my soon to be girlfriend, if there is one. If you see me working and you feel neglected, just pull me to the side. Like, I'm never gonna tell you no. Like, I'm never gonna say no. And if I say no, it's because I'm really tired. What I mean? And that doesn't happen often. If I say no, it's because I'm like, I need. If I say no, then I actually need to have sex. That means I'm tired. I'm working too hard. And the reason why I'm working that hard is because I want to take care of you. I want to take care of myself, but I also want to take care of you. I also want to give you a life. So, I don't really let my uh, I don't really let um, my impulses uh, take over to a point where I'm neglecting my duty as a man or as your boyfriend. You know, and like I said, I'm saying these things because there's other guys like me out there, ladies. So don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. But you know, as I wrote in my book, love is a little bit like working on a computer. Love is a little bit like a computer. Like, you have to input. Life is like a computer. Life is like a computer. You have to input what you want in order to receive what you're looking for, right? It's like when you go on your computer, you open up your browser, you write something in the search bar, and boom, there's a bunch of options that come up, right? Life is the same. You have to express yourself. Without expressing yourself, you're not going to find what you're looking for. If you don't express what you're looking for, if you don't express what you want, you're not going to find what you're looking for, because you're not utilizing reality. You're not using your mainframe. You're not using your matrix. You're not using it, right? You're basically going about on automatic. But on automatic is whatever, right? When you're on automatic is whatever. This the dangerous part of being on automatic is your subconscious is gonna make you live things that are already in your subconscious, because you're not asking for things. You're not creating what you want. You're not expressing what you want. So therefore, there's nothing to find. So if there's nothing to find, well, you're gonna go on automatic, and when you're gonna go on automatic, it's gonna be a garbled up version of whatever's already inside of your head, right? Whatever experiences that you already experience, because you're not asking for what you want. You're not, and you have to ask, and then you go for what you want, right? You have to ask first. You don't go for what you want without asking, because life doesn't know what you want. So if you go out to find something, you're gonna find anything. You're gonna find random stuff. But when you ask for something, right? Like you have a conversation with your friend, you tell your friend, I'm like this, I'm like that, I'm like this, I'm like that. He's gonna give you options, right? He's gonna give you things, gonna give you his insight, his opinion. That might inspire you to do something else that's gonna lead you a bit closer to what you're looking for, right? So same thing when you meet a man, uh, you know, even an insult could, like, you meet a man, you talk to him, and he's like, oh, well, whatever, you go do that, blah, 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 right? And you're like, oh, I will. Like, yeah, that's a good idea, like, and then you boom, and then you find the person that you're looking for because, so asking you shall receive. That's how the universe works. You ask for it, and in some way, shape, or form, it's gonna come to you somehow. You know. Um, Sorry. So it's an interesting thing. That's. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. But like I said, me, I think I'm both. I'm a bit of both. I can go for a marathon if you want. And I can also not go for a marathon if you want. Me personally, I would prefer the marathon. Personally, but it's not even about that. It's not even about that. It's the level of sexuality. Me, that's what gets me, because you can have really good, like, 15-second sex. Like, you can have really good 15-minute sex, like 5 minute sex. It could be really good like if you're both very horny. Even though it's like 20 minutes, it's still gonna be fucking amazing 20 minutes, because you're both really horny. So you're gonna do things to each other while those 20 minutes are going on, So you're gonna do very sexual things in those 20 minutes. So it's really about the sexual level of the person. Me, that's what gets me. Is the sexual level of the person. It's the more sexual you are in bed, uh, the better it is for me. The more I like it, So, uh, I mean, and I guess that's a good thing. I mean, what I mean to say is, I can manage, if you're, because there's some women that don't like sex to last forever, but if you really like me and you show it, like you're really affectionate, if you're like, let's say you're really affectionate, and you're not afraid to touch me and to make me feel wanted, I can deal with short shorter sex periods, right? Of course, I want some more. I always want some more, but at the same time, I mean, I guess I'll just jerk off if there's something, like I'll manage. I will sacrifice my sex or my sexual nature for a good relationship. I will sacrifice my sexual nature for a good relationship. If you're a good girl, not in a sexual term, but if you're a good girl, a good woman, if you're a good woman, and shit, I mean, like, a good woman's hard to find. So, I'm gonna take that L, if I have to, but you don't necessarily have to, though. Like, you don't necessarily have to. Like I said, asking you shall receive. You know, I'm not. The reason why I'm saying this, because I'm not gonna tell you that that's what I'm asking the universe. That's none of your damn business. you know, you know what I mean? Like, that's none of your damn business. So, I'm just gonna say, because in the past, that's what I have done. in with other relationships. In the past, I had relationships where it was sex all the time, all day long, and I had other relationships where it wasn't sex all. It was good sex though, no doubt, but it wasn't sex all day long, and it didn't matter either. Like, it didn't matter because she was a good woman, so it didn't really matter. So I'll take the L. Of course, in there's always a man. You know, you know, I really like that. I would like some more. There's always that in the background, in the back of your mind, but I don't know. You try to deal with it the best you can. You try not to be a dick about it. You try not to be a dick about it, and I do say try because nobody's perfect. Even I'm not perfect. I might get frustrated. If I feel like I'm not having enough sex, I might get frustrated. It could happen. And because I'm not a perfect person. Nobody's perfect. And you really need to, like, it has to be like really bad. It has to be like, we haven't had sex in like months, like in 2 months and shit, and now I'm starting to, now I'm gonna start being irritated and stuff like that. So anyways, man, I hope this helps. I don't know who the hell needed to hear that, but like, no offense, no pun intended, but I don't I don't know who needed to hear that, but hey, man, like, if that helps you in any way, shape, or form, it helps you in any way, shape, or form. And in case that this is diverted toward a specific person, in case this video is directed toward a specific person, communication. Communicate what you want, communicate what you need, and I'll try to, if there's any women out there that are interested in me and that are watching my videos, I'm single. So, if you want to shoot your shot, just be honest about, like, what you need and what you want, and I'll try to see what I can do. you know that's the only thing I can say. So I'm gonna shut up right now because I feel like I sound like a jerk at this point, and I'm not trying to, and I don't want to. I always sound like a jerk. It doesn't matter what I say, I always sound like a jerk. It's the way that I say things sometimes. And uh I'm a YouTuber too, so I can dissociate between speaking to one person. I never speak to one person when I make YouTube videos. I'm always talking to multiple people. I'm always talking to the entirety of YouTube when I make my videos. So I never direct my videos towards one person. So it does sound like I'm, if one person, if, like, let's say you made a video and this video inspired me, like right now, like this person made a video and I'm inspired to make a video about it, right? I'm not talking to that person specifically. Like, if that person hears that video, this video I just made, that's great for them, and I hope they can get something out of it. But I'm also talking to everyone else that might also be listening to my videos, that will listen to my, because me, the thing with my channel is I get like a couple of views when I launch my video, and then I get like, but I get more views as time goes by, like, right, like, so I don't get like 40 views on day one. I get 40 views on day 3 or 4 or 5, like, so I get a lot of views, but it takes at least a week before I get all those views, right? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my channel. I don't know why I get so much hate, but it is what it is. I do think my videos are being suppressed by YouTube. I do think that they are being suppressed. So that's why, it takes longer for my view count to go up. So because of that, and it's been like that since the beginning. So because of that, I'm thinking in the future. So I'm thinking about people that might see my video later on. So I'm never specifically targeting a person. I'm generalizing. I make a lot of blanketed statement. So anybody that feels like I was inspired by their video to make my video, if you hear something that kind of rubs you the wrong way, don't take it personal, because I'm speaking. I'm making blanketed statement. Like I'm thinking about future viewers. I'm thinking about the current viewers that are gonna see it, the future viewers that's gonna see it, the amount of people that gonna see it. So but if I do sound like I was inspired by your video to make a video, that's that might be true. It might be true, but I don't want to. I'm not trying to insult you. I make blanketed statement. I talk about a lot of things. I hop between subjects. And sometimes I start talking about something and I completely forget what I was talking about, because I don't write these videos down. I don't write what I'm gonna talk about. Like, I just think about something I want to talk about, or I ask Lucifer, for I ask the spirit of the infernal realm to give me inspiration, to guide me to make good videos, and they do, and it works. And and I channel, basically. Sometimes I'm channeling. Uh, sometimes I'm straight up, like yesterday I was possessed, like that video. Yeah, like yesterday I was possessed. Like, look, not yesterday, but the last video I just made, I was possessed while I was doing that. At some point in the video, I started to, something crawled up in me and started speaking for me. That happens. So I channel, I get possessions. I ask spirit to guide me when I make videos. So I don't really write these down. So I start yammering, and it's good. What I'm yammering about is good, but I kind of go off on a tangent, and I end up in another subject and another subject and another subject, and I completely forgot what I was talking about in the beginning. So like, which is not a bad thing. It's just I'm switching subjects. But people that are a little bit more professional, that write scripts, they will go on off tangents, and they'll go back to what they were talking about and end the video like that, and so on and so on. So anyways, if you like my channel, if you like what you hear, if you like me, subscribe to my channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Peace out.